Anderson Silva, Jake Paul, and then Andrew Tate.
Perfect rundown of what we're doing today. Max Calendrilla fighting Yo. We have some great topics today, but I'm not alone today. This time we have my good friend Marco. Marco, thank you for coming on. Tell people a little bit about yourself before we begin.
Thank you for having me, Max. My name is Marco. I love watching boxing. I understand the sport. I've actually been in martial arts myself. I've been doing martial arts for over 14 plus years. I'm a state champ, first degree black belt, and I'm just glad to be here with Max and share my thoughts on the Jake Paul fight.
Awesome. Thank you. Yeah, Fighting Yo appreciates having you on the channel, having you on the platform. We have some great topics to talk about. I guess we could go in chronological order, right? We had a big card in Miami that I'm very grateful that I was able to attend. And we had a few big fights, but the fights that I think are most worth talking about right now, Jake Paul and Anthony Joshua and Anderson Silva versus
Yeah.
Tyron Woodley. We can go in order. Anderson Silva demolishes Tyron Woodley, second round TKO victory. What do you think of that fight, and what do you think about the future for Anderson Silva?
I'm gonna be honest with you. That fight just it blew my mind. 1 second I'm watching it, I look to my right, and then just Anderson Silva with a beautiful knockout power. Like it was just beautiful performance by him. I mean, just I wish him the best. It really shows you that age does not matter. It matters about discipline, consistency, and Tyrone. I mean, he's a very athletic, fit person. I just feel like if he has the right training camp, he could be a good fighter. I mean, if he was good in the MMA, why can't he be good at with boxing? But I mean, no, fantastic show by Anderson Silva. He definitely earned my respect.
100%. Anderson Silva, I've seen him fight pro in the last couple of years since he left MMA, left UFC. And to be honest, he looked decent in some of his fights. But I think this time against Woodley, I understand Woodley's not a pro boxer. I understand that. But he looked really good, man. And I think the knockout, the uppercut he hit
Yeah.
Tyron Woodley with was beautiful. He almost like faked the kick. It looked like he almost touched his foot.
Yes,
Wanted
yes.
cocked back that uppercut and landed it perfectly. What do you think about the finish? As well as what do you think is next for both men?
I mean, I think it was just a great sportsmanship on both of them. I mean, the fact that Anderson Silva, he wasn't cocky like other fighters. He'd pay the respect. For Tyrone, I definitely think he needs to train a little bit more, get the right camp because I'm sorry, just the camp really does matter. You obviously do have to put your effort in, and discipline, but I do think he needs a better camp for better training wise. He does have the strength advantage, I fairly believe. But Anderson Silva, I mean, I don't know for Anderson Silva. I'm just excited to see his fights. I mean, maybe he fights a little bit more MMA people. Maybe he fights some boxers. I mean, you never know. I mean, his age really did not show at all that fight. And I think with the right training and discipline, I mean, he could do some serious damage.
100%. I completely agree. He actually called out Chris Weidman. That was a fight that was supposed to happen. I think that would be a fun matchup. How do you think that fight plays out? I mean, Chris Weidman, we haven't really seen him box, but there's money on the table for Chris Weidman. There's an incentive for him, and there's just as big of an incentive, if not bigger, for Anderson, who lost to Chris Weidman twice. What do you think about that matchup? Do you like it, and do you think Silva gets revenge?
I mean, I think that's a beautiful matchup. Apologies, I don't know too much about Chris Weidman, but I mean, definitely, if you're with the MVP Promotions, most valuable promotion, obviously CEO of Jake, that's a no-brainer. Why? Because what is the difference between their promotion and the UFC? The UFC is a more 10-10, 20-20, and then you have to be consistently and put abuse in your body until you can make the big figures like Conor McGregor, Paddy Pimblett, and all that stuff. So for Anderson Silva, it would be great just for him to, really show his skill and also a big payday because Jake, as much a lot of people like to talk down about him, he is paying the fighters fair. Because think about it, it doesn't make sense, 10 grand guarantee I pay you to walk in the ring. You win, that's 20 grand, but you spend 50 grand on camp.
Mm-hmm,
It
mm-hmm.
doesn't make sense. And then for Chris, I mean, I think it's time for him to show up what he can do. And if he really wants to take his career serious, I mean, fighting Anderson Silva is a no brainer.
I agree. I think Anderson Silva definitely gets the job done. Always been a better striker. Even though Chris knocked him out, Anderson's a better striker. He's been looking better in the ring, and I
Yeah,
definitely want to see it happen. Anderson wants it, and he has a right to call out whoever he wants at this point.
absolutely.
What do you think about him looking this good at age 50? I mean, that's absolutely insane. 5-0. What do you think
I
about that?
mean, to be honest, it's a shock. I mean, it really tells you that age really does not matter. I mean, for example, the Jake Paul versus Mike Tyson, people were saying, "Oh, Mike's too old, Mike's too old." Not necessarily. I mean, it doesn't always matter the young buck. It really matters who has more heart,
Hungry.
psychology too. If you can get into their mind, you already won the fight without throwing a punch first. And I mean, I think Anderson Silva just doing a great job. He's obviously still spending time with his family and his kids, which is great. You never want to just be so focused on one thing because then that can really mess up your personal life. So I think for Anderson Silva, continue doing what he's doing. I mean, his camp's looking pretty good. The only thing I could probably say is maybe I want to see him, have some a little bit harder punches because I feel like his power is pretty good. However, he's just hitting the sweet spots. And with the sweet spots, for example, with a liver shot, I mean, if you don't hit it too hard, you can still feel it. Solar plex, same thing.
Fair enough. Fair enough. Yeah, I think Anderson Silva definitely has some fights left in him and some matchups to be made. Now, for Tyron Woodley, do you think it's time for him to call it a day? Do you think it's time for him to give up on fighting? I believe he's 0-3 as a boxer. The two Jake Paul fights and been out of the ring for a
Yeah.
few years, and now he takes on Silva and gets TKO'd in two. I thought he was going to lose a decision. He gets TKO'd early. Do you think Tyron Woodley is finished?
Right now, as much as I hate to say it, I think Tyrone is kind of going for the money, just in the sense of he still has some popularity. The first match and the rematch against Jake, I think that was very big for him. But I think if Tyrone really wants to show people, hey, I'm not washed out, I'm still an athlete, I'm still a fighter, I think he needs to change up his plan. If not, I mean, respectfully, he needs to call it quits because if not, he's gonna be getting the money that he wants, right? But it's not gonna be enough in the sense of it's not going to be a high paying fight like maybe what Anderson's going to make. Anderson, if he goes fighting from other MMA to pro boxers, Jake's going to be paying him a lot of money.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
So I think really Tyrone just has to make a decision. Do I really want to forward and keep this, or do I just want to make the small bucks?
Completely agreed. Completely agreed. I think overall, respect to both men. I think when after seeing that bout, it's clear that one man has a lot more left than the other.
Yeah,
Now, moving on to the main event, Anthony Joshua and Jake Paul. There's a lot to talk about in this fight without taking all night, right? What did you think
yeah.
about the fight? Were you impressed by Jake? Does Jake deserve credit for his performance?
Okay, deserve credit. Yes, impressed by Jake. I'm gonna be honest with you. I love Jake. However, I would not say I was impressed by his performance. Why? Because Jake is the fighter, and I've mentioned this before. He studies his opponents. When you only have 8 rounds, not even 12, when you only have 8 rounds, you don't have that much time to study your opponent. I'll send a whole bunch of details and later, for you guys to post it. But he did last 6 rounds. People are saying, "Hey, Jake lasted 6 rounds because he was running." No, not necessarily. That is a technique in boxing. It's called footwork. Let me give you a great example. Mayweather, 50-0, best boxer in the world. However, a lot of people are saying that certain fights he lost against Manny Pacquiao. People say Manny Pacquiao took that. What is Mayweather known for? Good defense, good footwork, tiring his opponent out and then just going for the finishing kill. When you're fighting someone 40 pounds heavier than you and 5 or almost 6 inches taller than you really have to work for the body. Because guess what? Jay landed a nice, strong right handed hook to the face and it hit Joshua, but it didn't bring him down. So when Jake also did the 4-piece combo that you saw right there, he just needed to continue going to the body because AJ was like, man, what do I do? I've never been this close. AJ's not good close in quarters. What he's good is far because of his reach and his height.
Fair enough. Fair enough. I think overall, Jake did show good movement. He did land a couple nice shots. He made the fight ugly. He pretty much did the only possible way he could have won
Yeah.
was doing that, but I felt like it was only a matter of time. I felt like it was a matter of time till AJ was going to
Yeah.
break him down, stop him, and get him out of there. Now, when it comes to Anthony Joshua, there's rumors of him. It's very likely, actually, it's been pretty much confirmed that at some point in 2026, aside from maybe one interim, voluntary bout, him and Tyson Fury will square off. Based on how he looked against Jake Paul, what do you think about a fight with Anthony Joshua and Tyson Fury in 2026?
With that one, I think it's gonna have to be studied a little bit more. Why? Because I just recently started studying about AJ. His last fight, he fought the big white guy, bald head. He was a little bit chubby, and that guy had power and stamina. AJ dropped him down, but AJ is such a heavy opponent that when that stamina is gone, it's done for. Tyson Fury, huge guy, a lot of cushion, a lot of cover. So I think AJ really has to get him down early because if not, Jake wasn't able to tire AJ as that much, but Tyson Fury definitely has a chance on tiring AJ out. So AJ kind of needs to learn, okay, 1 round, 2 round, this is how he fights, and then go in. Because if not, his stamina is gonna go out. I mean, imagine being 6'6", 240 pounds. He's probably even gonna be heavier for Tyson because Tyson's heavy right now.
Completely agree. Completely agree. Overall, I think if Fury survives the early storm, it's gonna be very tough for AJ. And I think Tyson Fury is a safe pick in that fight, but we shall see. It's gonna be a great matchup. I don't know if you caught Misfits boxing Andrew Tate. I don't know if you knew about that fight. Did you
Yeah.
see that bout? And what did you think about the fight overall?
I saw a couple highlights there. I mean, you got to give respect to both of the fighters, Andrew Tate and the other fighter. However, I think Andrew Tate is great at kickboxing, and I think he just needed a little bit more time and preparation for the actual boxing type fighting style, because you can see that Andrew Tate was uncomfortable and he was trying to read his opponent, but his other opponent, from the highlights of what I've seen, was pretty fast, pretty
Is the
aggressive.
more
Yeah, Andrew Tate's more of a relaxed, chill back guy. And all right, let me see, when you mess up, you mess up. Okay, that's when I'm gonna go. But sometimes in boxing, you can't wait. You gotta attack, be aggressive, and then when they get on the defensive side, eventually they're gonna mess up. And when they mess up, that's when you go in.
Fair enough, fair enough. I think it's unfortunate because Tate, if he looked as good as we thought he would look, he could possibly be in line for a Jake Paul fight in 2026. He'd be
Yeah.
massive, both huge names, but
Yes,
he didn't look
definitely.
good. And I think at this point, Andrew Tate, maybe he should fight again just to right his wrong, but it
Yeah.
doesn't look like he has much left in store for him. And it may be time for retirement for Andrew Tate. When
Yeah.
it comes to next week's events, we have pound for pound top three, probably pound for pound top two now that Crawford's retired. Naoya Inoue. What do you think about Naoya Inoue as a fighter? I don't know if you know much about his next event. He's taking on 32 and 0. David Picasso, I believe it was, or Alan Picasso, 32 and 0. It's a voluntary bout for a bigger fight later in the year. What do you think about the monster Naoya Inoue? And are you excited to see him get back in it before the year closes out?
To be honest, I think I gotta study a little bit more about those fighters, but I really do think for all fighters, if it's a big fight that's gonna lead to a bigger fight, you have to give it in. You have to give 110%. Don't hold back, but you also have to be smart. And what a lot of people don't realizing is that not only boxing is a career and a sport, it's also entertainment, is a business. Not to get too much into Jake, even though I would love to talk about it, but I know we're on a time crunch. Um, People look at Jake as the YouTube kid. People don't look at him as, for example, Mayweather, in the sense of Mayweather. I mean, he was the best crap talker. He would really get under your skin.
Hmm.
Jake is an entrepreneur. One of the biggest fights I remember Jake had was versus Nate Robinson. Why was that such an important fight? Yes, Nate Robinson was athletic. He wasn't a boxer. But who did Jake have on that card? He had Mike Tyson versus John Jones Jr. in over 20 years of Mike not fighting. Please tell me, who have you seen fighters grab a legend like Mike himself to get into the ring? Not that many. So for the fight that you're talking about right now, I think if I was in their shoes and I'm like, hey, this is a fight that's going to lead me to a bigger fight in the future, he has to play smart but also aggressive.
Fair enough. Fair enough. So to wrap up, what do you think should be next for Jake Paul? Are there any names? Do you think how long do you think he should take off right after getting that double broken jaw? Right, that's a big deal. Double broken jaw. I
Yeah.
mean, none of us are. I don't know. I don't know if you work in the medical industry. I don't, so I don't know exactly how long that would
Yes.
take for Jake. But do you think he should fight again if that type of payday? And if so, when?
Okay, so I do know a little bit about the medical field that it is a very serious injury. You can live, you can compete. However, you're not gonna have that same power. What I do think for Jake is, I think a very huge fight that a lot of people are sleeping on is a rematch against Tommy Fury. Why do I say that? Tommy Fury is a great fighter. Jake is showing a little bit more experience. Jake really had no reason to fight Anthony Joshua, but this is what happened. He was desperate. He called Tank Davis out. They had it works. It got canceled because of domestic violence. Then another thing, he called Ryan Garcia. I don't know if you knew about that. Ryan Garcia says, yes, I will fight you, but next year I have fights lined up right now. Then last but not least, he called Davey Haney. Great fighter, great boxer. Would love to see that. He said the same thing. Not today, boss. Next year. So I think a really good rematch to prove himself would be Tommy Fury. And for one, for entertainment, because like I told you, boxing is also entertainment. Him versus KSI would just put all of us to rest, just because that is something that we've been asking for years.
Completely agreed. I was actually going to say my opinion, even though I would love the Tommy rematch, and I think he should do it. I think before Tommy, KSI makes the
Yeah.
most sense. KSI is not Anthony Joshua. He is nowhere near that level. It's a perfect fight for Jake to get back in there.
Yeah.
Big name as well. That's one of the few fights out there for Jake that people would really be hyped for. And I think that's the fight to make. So, Marco, thank you so much for coming on. We had a great live, great discussion
Of
back and
course. Thank
forth.
you. Thank you
We're
for
looking
having me.
forward to talking. Of course, we're looking forward to talking to you down the line as well.
Of
And
course,
I appreciate
absolutely.
everyone that tuned in. Thank you for watching. This is Max Calangelo fighting y'all.
Thank you guys. Appreciate it.
Thank you, brother.
Thank you, Russ.